Over the past few years, I've filmed thousands of videos working at my parents' Subway, and over again, I get the same exact comment. It's usually a variation of this: why would anybody in their right mind work fast food or be proud of it? Now, by no means am I saying that I'm proud to have been a fast food worker. I mean, if you don't know me, I primarily made a living off of doing content creation at my parents' Subway shop, and I worked at my parents' Subway shop for 6 years while also going to college and attempting to build multiple businesses, which all failed, I'm not gonna lie to you, except for this one thing called content creation that I'm doing right now. But basically, I've been seeing this trend all over the internet with especially content creators that are in the fast food niche, where their comments are calling them out, being like, you shouldn't be proud to be a fast food worker, why are you recording your job, get back to work. And the classic, just put the fries in the bag, bro, which, you know, I think that's kind of funny. But, you know, I do think that this begs a much deeper conversation about how prideful people become of their work, and not just that, but also how much people shun others for doing a job. I mean, when I worked at my parents' Subway, it was during my high school years and also throughout college, where I was also going to school for computer science and I had a 4.0 GPA. Not that I'm bragging or anything, but I'll just never forget when a mom came in with her son and she said to him, hey, make sure you study hard and go to college, otherwise you're going to end up like this guy, literally right to my face. And I wanted to say so badly, ma'am, I am going to college and I have a 4.0 GPA in computer science, which nowadays, I don't know if that's that big of a flex. Computer science is kind of out of the way, but AI is literally taking all of our jobs. But anyway, the point still stands. Like, there's so much judgment around what other people do, and like, I think people are afraid that like they're gonna fall into that place where they have to go in and work every day, or like they look at this as like such a negative thing to have a job in like food service, when I think it's honestly been the most important years of my entire life. I mean, it's obvious that I've been able to grow a career out of being a food service employee at my parents' Subway, and many others on the internet have done the same thing. And even if it wasn't for me making content, like, there is some pride in actually going in and earning a paycheck and coming home and like providing for yourself or your family. Like, there's no shame in having a job. And I think that a lot of these people on the internet that are commenting stuff like this, they're one of three things. Either one, they're literal children, like actual 10-year-olds that don't understand how the world works. Two, they were handed most of the things in their life, which, I mean, that's okay. Like, if your parents worked hard and I mean, I literally got a job because of my parents. Like, I was a Subway worker and I got pretty good treatment at the Subway because my parents owned the shop. But like, it's one thing to have that, and it's another thing to like use that as leverage to be like, I'm better than you because of my job and like what I do. Like, no, you still got to work hard. And the third reason that I found that people will actually like comment stuff like this is that they're just trolling. But the ones that are like reading this stuff that work in food service and they like feel down on themselves or whatever, like, don't feel down on yourself. You know, in life, I think that everybody's on a different path, and eventually everybody, if they work hard, are able to go to where they want to be. And maybe something like a food service job is just a stepping stone, or you never know, maybe it could be something much bigger. Like, for example, in my story, I was a Subway worker that honestly, I didn't really know what I was gonna do. I was working at the store every day, going to school for computer science, and honestly, I just thought that I would be a computer scientist at a big tech company like a Google or Meta or whatever, and I was applying for these internships and such. But because of the way the world was in 2020, all of my internship opportunities got canceled, and I was back to square one. I was just working at the store while doing school online, and honestly, it was a pretty low point. I was like, am I just gonna be working fast food the rest of my life? But you know, instead of like continuously thinking about it and like running away from it, I wanted to do something about it that could actually like result in something. I don't know. So I picked up my phone, I started making TikTok videos and YouTube videos, and what do you know? It grew into this beautiful career. And well, I would have never thought then that something like fast food could grow into anything, like literally anything. I just thought like, oh, this is one stepping stone. But my first 24 days on YouTube, I was able to go from like 2,000 subscribers to 1 million subs. And that was all from working a fast food job and just talking about the experiences that I had while at the store. Truly invaluable experiences. Like, I think I learned how important it is to like talk to people and have conversations and like have very good like customer interactions, you know? And it's not just me. Like, the famous director Quentin Tarantino, he worked at a video store, and he says that talking to his customers were some of the greatest experiences he had for his film knowledge. Former President Obama worked at Baskin Robbins, Jeff Bezos worked at McDonald's, and heck, even Donald Trump worked at McDonald's for a day. I'm kidding, I know that wasn't real, but having a job in fast food really isn't something to be ashamed of. I mean, sure, there's outside judgment from others, but like, who cares? Like, how does that matter? matter, you know? Why does somebody's thoughts about what you're doing have any effect on your life? You shouldn't let it. And if it does have an effect on your life, just think about it as you're building up these conversational skills, and honestly, you're building up some skills that you wouldn't really be able to get at a desk job or like a computer science job or whatever it is. You're also building connections with your customers. Some of my customers that I've interacted with, I still talk to this day, and they're very successful business owners that have provided me a ton of guidance in my life and a ton of guidance with like what I do on the daily basis now. You just have to always remember that every single person is on a different path, and a job is a job. We show up, we work, we take our paychecks home to provide for our families, and there's no shame in that. And just because you're there now, no, that doesn't mean it's gonna last forever. But even if it does, you gotta show up every single day and you gotta put your all into it. And there's gonna be some crowd that's like, wow, you're really putting your all into working for some other person, like, oh my god, you're an idiot, like your boss doesn't care about you. But listen, I heard a quote once that the way you do anything is the way that you do everything. So if you're showing up every day to your job doing a half-baked job, you're doing terrible things, like you're not even like really paying attention and you're just kind of like trying to watch the clock go by, you're gonna have a horrible work ethic when it actually matters. And maybe not everybody, maybe this is just like how I think, but if you show up every day and you're working hard and you're actually like having some form of pride in your work, like you never know what that's gonna translate to later on in life. For me at the Subway, one of the basic skills that I picked up was at the end of the night, I would create a checklist of all the things that I had to do, and I would go one by one through the checklist to make sure that I did every single thing on there. And now to this day, that's one of the most important habits that I've developed. I'll write down literally what I have to do for the day, and like if I didn't develop that at the Subway, then I probably would have a bunch of things that I would miss on the to-do list every single day. And going back to the experience at Subway, it's really funny. I actually had somebody come in one day that was a fan of the videos, and he was in there with his friend, and I could tell that he wanted to cause some ruckus or some trouble or whatever it was. And so I'm making his sandwich and I'm filming a video as I do, and he just straight up asks me, he's like, if you have millions of subscribers on YouTube, why on earth would you still be at the Subway? Well, son, how do you think I got the millions of subscribers on YouTube? In his mind, he's looking at it as, oh, this kid has a huge opportunity, but he's just wasting it away making sandwiches. But in my mind, I realize that this is a much more serious business, and part of the business is going into the Subway to film. So it's just weird how different people have different perceptions on things, and I guess the point is, don't let somebody's perception ever discourage you from doing anything, unless it's a crime. Don't commit crimes, kids. But in all seriousness, work hard, be proud of what you do, no matter what it is, unless you're hurting people. And just because somebody else is trying to put out your flame, never let that flame go out. Let that flame burn, baby, burn. Take care. I love you. Like the video and watch another. Goodbye.